So you're telling me that a snake from New Jersey, an Anarch Kitty, and an Annie Oakley ripoff have the exact same strength in Deadlock as an ancient god from another dimension, a man who can control the storms, and an ancient vampire that not even the Vampiric Council wants to deal with? Really, Yoshi, what are we smoking here? But what if we gave Initiate players access to their actual real lore power? We had our lore masters in the GlutenSnake channel discuss what the strongest characters in Deadlock are, and most importantly, what the 6 strongest characters in Deadlock are. Then we made some changes to make them a lot more representative of their in-lore power. So who wins? 6 lore-accurate Initiates, or 6 Eternus 6 players? Let's find out. Eternus versus Initiate, but the Initiates are lore-accurate. Have you ever thought to yourself, god damn, these Deadlock characters should be a lot more powerful than their in-lore's in-game status suggests? Like, are we saying that a Viper, which is like the snake from New Jersey, has the same amount of strength as Doorman, which is an eldritch god? I don't think so. So we put it to the test. We came up with a whole list of changes to power up these Initiate players, and we put 6 Eternus 6 players against them. I'm so curious to see how this is gonna go. I have Transparent here with me. What do you think about this game, Transparent?
Yeah, this is gonna really a super powerhouse here for the Initiates. They're gonna finally feel the power flowing through their veins, and 7 is one of those. He's gonna have a huge stun available. He's gonna have some huge orbs, and of course that lightning storm is gonna be lasting forever. Well, not quite forever, just an extra 30 seconds, Gluten.
Yeah, just a tiny 30-second lightning storm. But yeah, 7 stun is already proving to be so freaking valuable. This Ivy's close to dying, and this Haze might die as well. So many kills left and right here. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about Drifter. Drifter's damage has been like rounded up all across the board. His Stalker's Mark lasts 20 seconds now. His Bloodletting, so if anyone is ever isolated, means 100% more weapon damage. And of course, I have a big qualm, Transparent. Why the hell is Eternal Knight not Eternal?
I don't know. It's in the name, guys. It should be Eternal. So guess what? We upped it forever.
Yeah, I know. Eternal means you should last, like, you know, a long-ass time. Not 6 or 7 seconds. By God. Anyhow, let's look at the other lanes and see what other buffs we've come up with. Let's look at this Venator here. So Venator, first and foremost, his anti-healing grenades actually are anti-healing grenades now. Minus 100% healing. We've, you know, added a whole bunch of damage to the buckshot, but my favorite one has to be that trap. That trap does... Well, he's dead. That trap has a radius 3 times as much as normal, so if you get caught out even a little bit out of position, you might get caught out for a 30-second duration, which is annoying, I think. I hope.
Yeah, and not only, you know, buffing the base radius helps increase if you get expanded radius as well. You know, superior radius, the greater expansion even, will really help with making those zoning out some areas, but they still need to be careful. You know, these are Eternus players. They are very good at moving around the map. They are good at avoiding these traps, shooting those traps, and if anything, you know, they need to just make sure they're positioning well. But we got Dynamo here, who of course has a stomp of 1,000 energy. I want to say kilojoules. Is that the right thing?
Kilojoules? No, I think it's way more than 1,000 kilojoules. This is like megajoules worth of stomping.
Gigawatts.
Gigawatts.
Gigawatts? Back to the Future reference there for everybody. Yeah, he's going to be doing that. And of course, as soon as those heroic abilities unlock, there's a few more coming out. You know, that ultimate ability of Black Hole is not just a small black hole, is it, Gluten?
Yeah, I mean, one of the big qualms that I have with Dynamo is that my understanding of black holes is that a black hole the size of a human being should have a radius of far more than 5 meters, you know? Should be like stopping stuff all over New York. So that's what we did. We gave it a radius of 1,000 meters. It lags out the server drastically. You guys will see that. But for 6 seconds, everyone on Team Eternus is going to be insanely stunned.
Everyone and everything. It's not just the people, it is the minions and camps too. He is going to be very, very much happy sucking in those souls from around the map. Doorman, though, here, he's also that Eldritch God figure. He's possibly the most powerful person in the lore, and so he's got a few buffs.
Tiny buffs, like, for example, a little bit of damage on that call bell, but most importantly, an accuracy debuff that lasts 30 seconds instead of like 1 second, whatever the actual debuff lasts. So if an Eternus is ever caught up by a bell, he's gonna die because he's not gonna be able to shoot. And the door has a radius of 1,000 meters, so he's gonna be able to catch the whole map. But most importantly, if you get level 2 on that door and you upgrade that door, you get 2,500 in barrier, which I think is a very reasonable amount for being a guest of the Baroness. You should feel protected in there, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lovely place. They've got a beautiful spa and obviously a great Doorman here. But this Doorman is juggling around with this Viscous in their face. They're going to have to be a little bit careful, especially as Victor's gone down. Once Victor gets their ultimate ability, though, they are going to be surviving for a little bit longer. And that cooldown is coming back a little bit quicker than some might expect in your normal games.
Yeah, 20 seconds before any sort of cooldown reducing items is certainly going to matter a lot. Ooh, do you feel the lag? That is the black hole being activated from this dynamo, and that is a stun that is map wide, leads to a kill. It's going to become so important later in the game once dynamo gets duration, once dynamo gets refresher. Just being able to disable the Eternus team for 10 seconds can matter so much, especially with how much damage is coming from the Initiate team.
And we see Lash there actually able to get out of the door so they don't get completely evaporated. Really well done here by that Lash. Of course, Doorman's ult doesn't just do a lot of damage. It now drains 10 stamina as well. So they really have to use all their skills of Deadlock movement to get out of here.
You know, a Viscous Cube. We need to really start talking a little bit about how the Eternuses are approaching this. I mean, one of the big problems you're going to have, there's just too many debuffs. Viscous Cube, one of the best anti-debuff abilities in the game. Just put your friend in the cube, and suddenly he's not going to be affected by an actual Eternal Drifter Knight, or whatever the hell we're throwing at them. Silver, insane at fighting these 1v1s, definitely is going to have enough damage to beat most of these Initiates, even with their buff damage levels. Lash is going to be able to escape. Ivy stone forming out of a lot of stuff, and Wraith and Haze, you know, to farm up and make sure that the Eternuses have that late game damage they will sorely need.
Yeah, although obviously these Initiates have these incredible buffs, they are slowly slipping behind about 10k in souls right now. They need to be careful to start coordinating. Of course, in a 2v2 situation, these Eternuses are going to be putting on a little bit more pressure. The fact that they're in these situations means that they can get out, but, you know, otherwise, can the Eternuses put on any more pressure later in the game as the buffs get a little more heavy?
Oh yeah, 100%. Of course, right now, you don't even have all of the abilities unlocked. We do see the Victor still doesn't have his ult, which is his whole linchpin in this strategy. Just that 20-second cooldown. The later the game goes on, the more items the Initiates buy, the more screwed the Eternuses are going to be. There is a cap, if you will, in the amount of power that the Eternuses can have. It just base damage being 2x, 3x on so many different abilities is going to matter a lot for these Initiate players.
Okay, you know, we are going to keep a solid cooldown eye on the cooldown of Black Hole. We know that that's going to be a huge game-changing opportunity for them. This Silver, very, very greedy. Are they going to be able to get away from the Vampire Hunter, the Bounty Hunter themselves, as a Werewolf? Wolf has so much movement and is just able to slip away here. Very nice play by them.
Yeah, I mean, like, one of the big problems with those traps and the kit that Venator has is you kind of have to hit stuff. You have to hit stuff with the trap, you have to hit stuff with the Era Domine. Silver is a pretty mobile character if she in the hands of an Eternus player. But this Drifter, on the other hand, is becoming the most important member of Team Eternus. Just the ability to 1v1 everyone, do one of those claws and immediately kill that Haze. It is insane.
Yeah, and they get 100% amplified damage on isolated targets through that, so they are going to be picking up a lot. And look at the movement speed. It's just so good. Crawling around the map like that feels great in your normal games, but here, this Drifter is going to be almost always crawling around and really hunting down those Eternuses, who might be feeling a little too confident at times, but they need to watch out for this insanely old vampire of Deadlock lore. Yeah, I mean, oh, this Dynamo, as they do it, they stuns everybody around and drains a little bit of HP from them, and it's going to be enough to take out Haze from across the map. I mean, this is a super wonderful strategy. I was hearing about them talking, maybe trying to make a little bit of a macro play, have those side pushes with Dynamo, trying to escape with some of that kinetic pulse, and then just using the ulti. But as Victor goes down on the side, we see the 7 picking up a good bit of farm, and the rest of the team, the Initiates, picking up a good Guardian in the blue lane.
Yeah. I mean, again, the big problem is that the Eternus are always going to be in these 2v1s, 3v1s. We have altered a lot of their kits. We have made them more powerful. We have increased their damage. But we haven't significantly increased the health of any of these characters. The only two characters that have, you know, in theory, a lot more health are, of course, Dynamo, who has a much better heal. 3x heal, actually, on his heal. And, of course, Victor, who does have many, many, many lives. If he just manages to survive for 20 seconds at a time.
Yeah, and Victor, although they are having a little bit of trouble here on the side, they are getting hunted down. They still have their revive, should they want it. But I think they're going to try and escape a little bit, as Dynamo instead is going to be the target of these Eternus players.
Yeah. But yeah, the cube already proving to be very, very important in ensuring that you're safe. I mean, this poor Lash, he's trying to fight, but that Walker just does so much damage. 30 seconds of immobilization, and I do love that initiate technique where you just throw a trap where the old trap was and keep that Lash permanently there.
I mean, it's a great strategy, actually. It's counterplay to this cube. When that cube gets dropped, you drop a trap, and that person is not leaving that spot anytime soon. Meanwhile, this Drifter hunting down this Viscous with the urn. Can they get the turn in? No, not just quite yet. Has the chase of the Goo Man as the vampire crawls up behind them. It really is a horror movie. But Viscous looks to turn around. Out comes the cube. And biding their time, trying to pick up the urn at the same time. I think this Drifter is going to get caught out by a Flying Ivy. Good coordination here by the Eternus players.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of their biggest assets, being able to coordinate. This Drifter is really deep in enemy territory, but it does not matter. He still can do a lot of damage, and we do see Divine Barrier already has been picked up. Divine Barrier gets rid of all of those debuffs. Such an important item. I think it's going to matter so much in this game.
Yeah, and you know, that Stalker's Mark could have been a good way to get that kill. But Lash here, looking to just dunk in a free urn. No one else is around. They're going to take that. Meanwhile, you know, these Initiates, they're focusing, going for that Walker. They really want to open up the slots and try and get a little bit more macro pressure. But they are being turned away here, despite Silver being immobilized for, well, the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah. I mean, debuff remover, Divine Barrier is going to be so key. This 7 is trying to, like, out-damage the mid-boss. I don't know what that strategy was all about. Very funky. I presume he was looking for a kill there, but yeah, I don't think he has enough damage yet.
Yeah, we didn't buff the damage of the Storm as we hit a solar storm of some sort as Dynamo soaks up all of those souls. You can see the plus 60s from around the map. They're going to feel very good, and they're probably going... they've obviously got superior duration, they've got transcendent cooldown. They're going to be looking for that refresher to try and hit them where they hurt, these Eternuses.
Yeah. I mean, like, again, it's always really funny because every single time there's a freeze frame like that, I'm like, oh god, did the server crash? Did the server crash? Oh no, it's fine. It's just Dynamo ulting. Always a fear with these events. Modding in Deadlock is incredibly unstable, and I'm thank god that we have such amazing modders that can make all of these happen. So, anyhow, we do see the big pigs happening here. Lash immobile, standing there, getting mauled by that 7th ball. It is so big, dude. Like, how can you even handle something like that?
Yeah, it's super big, does a lot of damage. You need to make sure you're avoiding it. Otherwise, this 7 is going to come through. That has got more damage, despite the Storm not. Still, 7 does go down, and this team of Eternuses are having a little bit of struggle. But with this infinite range doors, maybe we could see a little bit of door dancing here from the Initiate players.
Yeah. I mean, again, metal skin from one of the Initiates, I really do like that. It's going to matter so much, especially against someone like Drifter and, someone like Silver. And that Drifter is, however, down. She's going to try and escape the bear nest, but with no stamina. Oh, no, she is just going to die here. That is 10,000 damage heading her way. But that Doorman does get parried. I mean, this is a very, very big fight. We do see the value of that Doorman, just bringing in that door, giving everybody 2,500 barrier for a couple seconds. And the push is now on the Eternus side.
Yeah, they're looking to try and take the first Walker of the game. It's not yet happened on either side. And although this Venator is taking a lot of damage from this Viscous, who has got almost 20k, they are an absolute monster. And they're just rolling around, dealing out damage to everybody. I mean, it's almost perma-stuns on Dynamo and Victor. And they surely are going to take one of these down.
Yeah. I do love the cube, the Viscous ball inside the cube. It's always so funny to look at that. It's just like it clearly does not fit. one of the big things that you want to do right now as a Eternus player is try to like make the game as simple as possible for yourself. Get those walkers, get a lot of space. Try and go for a mid after you kill that dynamo, that sort of thing. You don't want to be in a situation where there's 3 walkers on either side and you have no clue what's coming your way, right?
No, you don't. You want to be trying to keep as much space around the map as possible, just like they are taking down this. Oh, and there's Silver. They have the rest of Lockett. They should be able to get out. That's the key pickup here. But Singularity from across the map picks them out. What a great play.
The dynamo ult is so big it goes straight through to the Baroness. That is a fantastic way to prop someone up. Insane stuff. Spirit Urn has been grabbed by Team Initiate here, and I think they're going to be able to deliver it rather safely. Of course, there is a Lash hunting here.
Yeah, and that Lash still does a lot of damage. Of course, Headhunter this sort of gun Lash meta we have is still a powerhouse to behold right now, and they're looking to try and get this dunk. Still, the Initiates are rallying around that point. There is a Doorman. They don't have ult, but they do have a luggage cart that stuns for 5 seconds should they hit it, and they're getting ready with a door.
Yeah. I mean, like, again, the Lash is coming in, though. He's right above. I don't know if the Initiates have figured that out. He's going to try and take the long way. The Victor is chasing him. A Looney Tunes chase, but no, the Dynamo ult comes in, and that is an isolated Lash.
Yeah, Dynamo once again from spawn. They're not risking anyone interrupting that, but Lash is still going in, but they're still trying to help it. And
the trap. The trap.
Really good vortex web. And yeah, Lash goes down.
Lash goes down, and that is the Initiate securing the Earth, and that soul difference, which was almost 20k only a couple minutes ago. Suddenly it's only 5k, and Lash is a little bit on the negotiating stage of the 5 stages of grief.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's almost even, though, at the moment. We have 2 walkers still up for both teams. One of them very much on half HP, once again, for both teams. And I think, you know, the Eternuses are just trying to think, where can we find these cracks in these godlike creatures that are the Eternus players?
Yeah, these Initiate players certainly we're going to have to try and find a strategy. We do see this goo here. He's trying all of his guile. There's 5 Initiates trying to surround him, but he does not get that walker on time. Very, very sad stuff. Splendid. It's just a really big shame because in a normal game, you're going to have like 6 seconds of darkness, so that's clearly not enough to be able to truly admire how strong this character can be. And he gets dragged right into the walker and he gets stunned. I mean, this is the sort of moves that you want to do. You want to abuse the walkers, you want to abuse the base guardians, you want to abuse anything in the game that can do any sort of damage. And kills are happening left and right.
Yeah, I mean, 7 does go down. It is the Eternuses who are taking names right now. So we see Drifter tries to go in. They get a good amount of punch there. A nice little counterspell will keep them alive for a little bit longer. They've got 100 HP. They've got a little bit more thanks to the reach Lockett. And I think they are going to try and escape. They've got Metal Skin still up and available should they need it from all this gun damage. But as we see, these 2 come in, and a big stomp from Ivy does then take them down.
I mean, Drifter is just a very scary character when you're isolated, but if you're not isolated, I don't know how good he is. But yeah, with this big assault on that final walker, it seems to be happening on both sides. Very big defense there. Dynamo normally should be in the back line. He is very much in the front line. He might be pressing 4 any second now. Be curious to see that happen. No, he dies instead. The Eternuses are using their massive Eternus braids, and suddenly that soul difference is 25k yet again.
Yeah, we see here Silver just being like a pillar saying, I'm so scary, don't come near me. But still, the Initiates, they want to just see, they want to poke the bear, tickle the wolf, see what happens if they get too close. But Silver still does go down, and we now see a boss play coming out from the Eternuses.
I mean, like, again, they're immediately backing. They know that they cannot do that boss play. Dynamo does not need to be anywhere close to the mid-boss for him to press that 4 button, and they do not know where the Initiates are. We do see a Drifter is trying to backdoor the walker? Is that what he was trying to do? What is he doing? Just running around.
Oh, he's running, but out comes the black hole, really slowing down the assault from the rest of the Eternuses. And it does mean Drifter gets out, and they are able to pick up a couple of kills as this black hole still goes on. Really good work here.
Really, that is insane. Now, the question is, will these Initiates just continue with the urn and pushing the walker a little bit? Or maybe this is the time to do mid?
I mean, it should be right. You want to be trying to do something, but they are thinking about maybe trying to get this walker. Maybe they can go even further. You know, this is a good time for Drifter. There's only 2 people on the map. That means they're most likely going to be isolated in some sort of semblance. But no, it's a good boss call, and here we see 7 going for it with the rest of the team drawing in.
Seven's certainly one of the best objective damagers in the game. Those lightning balls are nothing to scoff at. You throw 2 of them at an objective and something happens. Of course, you have to be in the pit as all of this is happening. You're not allowed to just not be in the pit. The team of Eternus is actually trying to contest here. I don't know if they can make it in time. They do have that last shell. They do have a lot of stuff. But all 3 rejuves have been secured by Team Initiate. And instead, maybe just removing one of them by killing the 7 is all the Eternuses will have. Or maybe the urn!
Yeah, yoinking the urn. You know, 7 came out here all by themselves. They sort of were prioritizing, thinking it was okay to get. They hadn't quite realized that we're only 20 minutes into the game, and those death timers are still small enough for the Eternus to make a rotation, and 7 goes down, even with that rejuvenated charge having already been used.
I mean, we truly have some of the best players in the world featured in this channel, but having 66s is always a freaking joy. Seeing how well they coordinate with each other and seeing what sort of maneuvers they can come up with. This Wraith is in such a tough position, but she might be able to survive just by pure virtue of damage. And no, she does get trapped. Lash, on the other hand, of course, chasing a little bit behind enemy lines. The big target is that Dynamo. Every time he presses that 4, he slows the server and slows the whole game for the Eternus team. He gets Ivy stoned, and yeah, I mean, it's a very, very good technique, especially because he's the most fed member of Team Initiate. The Eternuses are 10k up, but a lot of the sole difference is in the Dynamo for the Initiate team. Suddenly, they seem a lot weaker. Of course, the big problem is that you can't do the normal things that you can do as an Eternus player, right? Like, one of the things that Eternuses will do all the time in Eternus versus Initiate events is just go deep into enemy territory, hunt for farm, try to pick up an isolated Initiate player. But what happens when an isolated Initiate player wants you to be the isolated one, you know? This Drifter has so much damage, despite the fact that he's the Initiate, he's going against an Eternus player. But of course, the Haze combo comes in. Metal Skin, is that going to be enough to ensure this Drifter survives? He is fighting this 1v1, 2v1, 3v1, and he does get a pick here. What are we seeing?
What an amazing play from Drifter here. They're now trying to teleport, maybe go for the Stalker's Mark, coming back out, but they do get taken down. But still, it's a great attempt from them. Doorman comes in, shuts down the Haze. We do see Ivy here looking to stone form, and as Doorman desperately tries to pop their door combo, they don't quite manage it. I don't think they had the other door set down.
Yes, it's always really funny because, I mean, these Initiates have been granted so much power, but they are Initiates. They're going to forget their basic combos.
The urn will be spawning again in 30 seconds. One of these teams will try and take it, and maybe it'll be the Eternuses putting on a bit of pressure in the team fight that they want to have.
As this Dynamo just shoots you up into the sky, that can be pretty destabilizing. Maybe that's why they pick Lav, just so he can, you know, quickly pivot out of that shot just with a nice little grapple.
It's lucky there's no full damage in Deadlock, because otherwise this kinetic pulse would be way more powerful. But we see Viscous here rolling through, causing disruption, getting a good stun onto the Venator, who's now going to get caught out a little bit. But it's a big stun coming over, and Dynamo presses the lag button. We see Viscous fall down. Refresh has been used, and it's going to be sucking in everybody once again. Ivy, Viscous go down. Lash and Wraith are also falling low. Can the rest of the Initiates mop them up?
I don't know. I mean, that is one heck of a caught Haze. She just knows. She knows that he has a counter spell, actually. But no, instead she gets Doorman ulted into here. Where is here?
Here is between the map, it seems like. They are immobilized for the long stun and also the root of the Venator, I think, in a place that only Drifter should know. The Drifter's going to have to listen for those footsteps, and they do indeed find them. I don't know what happened there. I guess they were trying to go through a door, and Deadlock just didn't want to do it.
Right now, the cadence of the game is going towards that Lash. Lash is coming in with a very big stun, and that Wraith comes in to wrap things up. But I don't know, that 7 ult can be very dangerous, but of course gets immediately telekinesis out of the sky. They're going to back. They're content with just one pick here.
Yeah, 7 ulti can only do so much. You need to have that unstoppable to make sure you get a bit more value. But it's going to be a little while until this 7 gets it. Maybe I'll get it for Indomitable instead, just in case. As we see this Drifter desperately trying to get something. It's a nice little teleport back. This Drifter's doing so well, but unfortunately, I say unfortunately, they're going to live for a little bit longer, but they're trying to get some more kills as they pop their Eternal Knight, and more of the enemy team will be blinded.
Yeah, I mean, like, the big problem is Drifter's become, like, the damage powerhouse of Team Initiate. Like, if you need 4 people always hunting him to have a shot at killing him, what are you meant to do as the Eternus team? You're not going to always be able to have all of that access.
It's going to be a tough point for them, but as the Initiates do get taken down one by one, we are going to see... Oh, Doorman's trying to do the combo once again, but unfortunately this Silver gets cubed. Nicely done by them. And Victor comes in to maybe try and fight them 4v5, but you're not the powerhouse you think you are, Victor. You're just going to live for a long time and have a good cooldown on your ulti.
Yeah, I mean, the Eternuses know to target Prio him very quickly because, of course, with that 16-second cooldown on his ult, he cannot be allowed to survive under any circumstances. There's a 5v1 there, and, of course, the Eternuses secure the urn, and the soul difference is yet again 20k. What a back-and-forth game. The Eternuses are, I think, coming up with a game plan. And that game plan is wait for mid to spawn. It is a matter of seconds here. They're all positioning. They do get it as quickly as possible while the Dino is thought out. But the Initiates might be smart enough to have figured out their plans. They're positioning themselves for the mid contest of their lives. But that 7 goes down.
Or Doorman's coming through, trying to do a combo as well. As we see that they get here, they have a door prepped. But unfortunately, they don't quite manage to do the combo they need to.
And they're just going to run Phantom Strike? Is that Phantom Strike? That is insane.
Oh, as we see the Doorman Dynamo combo, that haze is surely going down, but these rejuvenators are up and available. They just need to try and take down more of these as there's chaos around the map.
Yeah, and with the smoke bomb, I think the Haze might be able to survive. She just hides incredibly well, knows how to evade these very, very observant Initiates, and she's going to be able to go back to the main fight with 2 picks, 2 rejuves still up. I think Team Eternus is allowed to just march towards the enemy base.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely should be taking some structures here, but really well done by the Initiates to push out these waves. And, you know, every minion is in the Eternus' base. Not something you often see in these Eternus versus Initiates battles, but something very well done here in this case.
Of course, I mean, like, when the Dynamo kills every single minion on the map using his ult, of course your macro is going to be a lot better. Maybe that is just the solution. Maybe we just
I had forgotten that gluten.
Yes. You're like, oh, when did the Initiates get so good at macroing? You know?
Just clear the whole map. It's easy that way. As we see a bit more chaos happening here, we do have Dynamo popping the ulti. It's going to catch on to all of those heroes that absolutely are having a whale of a time, but still, it is going to be a 4-0 takeover for the Eternuses.
Yeah. I mean, that's 5, and that's Venator, who's going to have to 1v6 here. I don't think he's allowed to. He is disarmed, he is disheveled, and he is dead. And with that, 6 Eternus players are marching towards Team Initiate's base. Again, these Initiates are going like literally these 1v6, which is like very ideal. You have to wait. Your patron is down right here, right now. You have to have like a massive fight. Hope that the Dynamo has Refresher in time. Hope that the Drifter can do some incredible gameplay here. Hey, at least I went positive. My Initiates are just so positive, aren't they, Transparent?
They are positive, and they've got 80 more seconds to remain positive before the next Dynamo ulti. They've got a little more time. And it seems like the Eternuses are backing off, so it could be an opportunity still for the Initiates to take this game. There's a lot of Transcendent cooldown on the side of the Initiates. They want to use more of these OP abilities that they've been given, certainly. But, you know, generally they've got a couple of curses coming out as well, which may well be helping some of these scenarios.
Yeah, of course. Being able to isolate people is so great with that Doorman ult, but Viscus is one of those characters that you really, really don't care if he's isolated or not. He can just cube himself and make sure that he's never, ever damaged. That's 2 picks coming from Team Eternus. That Dynamo, such a crucial member of Team Initiate, has been picked. And with 3 picks and that 7 ult still going in the sky, though, I think that might be the end.
Yeah, they're going to try desperately. I mean, 7 is hiding inside the patron, trying desperately to make sure that they keep value up. But Victor goes down as well on the side here, and we see these Eternuses focus onto the core. Still, remember, there's increased duration on this 7 ulti, and with additional duration, it has been going on for 47 seconds, Gluten, but it's not enough. It's a victory for the Eternuses.
Turns out, lore powers are just not enough to save the Initiates. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like more games with buffed Initiates, we have this one where they were allowed to buy enhanced items, and even got a legendary at the 15-minute mark. Thank you so much to our Patreons, and have a good day, folks.